All right, welcome back. It's Your Voice, Your Vote. And in Virginia Beach, voters in the 97th House District are deciding between Republican Tim Anderson and Democratic incumbent Michael Fagans.
So Madison Schlegel is live in Virginia Beach with the latest on that race. Madison, how are things?
Yeah, Dana, Janet, right now we're at the Crown Plaza here in Town Center in Virginia Beach, and we're at the election watch party for Delegate Fagans. And as you can see behind us, we've got a lively crowd here. We just had cheerings. Like, people are very happy here about the projected winnings of Abigail Spanberger for governor here, and the spirits seem to be pretty high here. But we got the chance to speak with both people running for the 97th race right now. We spoke to Tim Anderson earlier, and we spoke to Delegate Fagans as well. But let's get talking about each of those campaigns. We're going to talk about the Anderson campaign first. First, we saw him earlier in Virginia Beach today at the Red Church, and that's a former delegate, Tim Anderson. He was elected back in 2022 to serve as the 83rd district, but he resigned to run for state senate. That run ended up being unsuccessful for Anderson, but like we said, he was speaking with voters outside of Red Church in Virginia Beach today. Right now, after speaking to those voters, he said that he's energized by the amount of people that he's been talking to today, that he was able to speak to before they went in to cast their ballot. But one of the biggest issues that Anderson says that he's fighting for right now is the car property tax here in Virginia. He says that he's looking to get that tax eliminated for Virginians. And when it comes to talking to voters, Anderson says that voters have supported the elimination of that tax. Give us a listen.
Receptive to my message, and hopefully we'll get enough votes to start working on getting that done next year.
And as we told you, we are here at Delegate Fagans' campaign event right now and election watch party here. And we got the chance to catch up with him a little bit while he was still out campaigning earlier today. Take a look here. We've got some video. He was out at the Kempsville Library, and he tells 13 News Now that he was making stops at polling sites this morning as early as 6 a.m. Now, Delegate Fagans is a retired Air Force veteran who's held this seat since 2023 when he beat out incumbent Karen Greenhall. Now, during his time in office, he says that he's passed 10 pieces of legislation surrounding issues like veterans protections, whether that be the environment as well. But this time around, Fagans says that he's speaking to voters about what they need. And he says right now that Virginians here are fighting for affordability.
Affordability, which has been one of the main driving issues, the economy, also in terms of threats of democracy. That's been some of the driving messages that we talked with voters.
And as those results do roll in and trickle in, we're going to be here keeping an eye on both heartbeats of those campaigns right now. And in the next hour, we're going to hear from both of those candidates again about what they think is the most important thing for voters right now, and why and where they think that their votes are counting the most right now. But this is going to be one race to watch as we watch those ballots trickle in this evening. And we'll be sure to catch you up on that race in the 97th district here in Virginia Beach. Live in Virginia Beach, Madison Schlegel, 13 News Now.
All right, thanks so much, Madison. And now to Hampton, where voters in the 86th House District are deciding between Republican A.C. Cordoza and Democrat Virgil Thornton.
Our Jordy Clark is live in Hampton with the very latest on this race. Jordy.
Good evening. So yes, I'm actually here at Virgil Thornton's watch party, and as you can see, got a lot going on here. A lot of voters we've been talking to all day long, and we actually just recently had an interview with Thornton at an earlier voting place, and he really honed in on the fact that he is very community driven, and I think that's what we're seeing a lot throughout these races is how much we want community involved. We talk about all those national issues happening, and it's affecting all the families here when it comes to Hampton and throughout the Commonwealth. And Virgil said when it comes to the 86th district, that is what his biggest concern has been, is how his constituents would be affected by a lot of these issues. And so that's kind of what he's been really focused on, is his community-driven aspect to his campaign. And while the campaign has had its ups and downs when it comes to his opponent and those issues that were lying there that we've been covering throughout the year, again, his focus has strictly been on trying to bring those families together, bring more voters out, especially bringing the younger crowd out as well. And that's kind of been a common theme that we've been seeing throughout the day, is seeing that younger generation kind of be involved in a lot of these politics. And Virgil, who actually has daughters as well, and we've spoken about them before, about getting them involved in civic duties. And that's also something that he hopes to accomplish when it comes to his his campaign, is helping when it comes to education. I think that has been a big point as well, even when we talk to other opponents too, is funding our schools and giving them the opportunities to, again, continue to provide civic engagement for those students, so that they are also learning more and more about the issues that affect them and the issues that are directly involved with them. And so that's definitely something Virgil has been very strong about as well. But again, we've just been here throughout the day talking to both candidates just about what they want when it comes to this campaign. And now this is a closely watched campaign as well. Definitely very, very tight race, of course. And that's kind of been a common theme throughout the Commonwealth through a lot of these opponents, is just seeing that when it comes to which side of the aisle they're leaning on, they're more focused on how they can be personally affected. And I think that's what's truly important, is seeing all the people here, that they're here to support not only the candidate, but what they want to be accomplished. And that comes to economics, that comes to education. They are focused on it so much. And so this election definitely holds pretty strong results here, because again, what happens here locally affects us nationally. I think that's also been a very high point as well throughout this election. But we will continue to keep you all updated on 13 News Now, as well as this race, as those results continue to trickle in. But both candidates have certainly been throughout the Hampton Roads, just advocating for not only themselves, but of course for the constituents and the people that they're serving on either side of the aisle. So definitely interested just to see how this race turns out, because again, it will be a tight one. It is a very closely watched one, as all of these are. But certainly we'll continue to talk to both candidates. And again, I spoke to Thornton earlier, and he's certainly just excited just to see the turnout and just to see whether or not you voted for him. Just seeing people getting out to the polls, I think, is always a strong point just to make note of. So again, we'll just keep you guys updated throughout the day, and or throughout the night, excuse me, just seeing again how this all turns out. But until then, I'm going to send it back to you guys in the studio while we're here dealing again with this watch party here in Hampton.
All right, thank you so much, Jordy. We appreciate that update, and taking a look at that race right now. Virgil Thornton at 42.84% and A.C. Cardoza 56.86%. That's looking at the Virginia Board of Elections website, checking the results there.